For members whose native language is not English, it's probably continuation of their learning of English, because this grammarian's role introduces you to new words, so your vocabulary gets richer. Then you learn about good and not good use of words and grammar.
As a grammarian, your main role is to monitor the usage of grammar over the meeting. Pick your word of the day well in advance, so you know what the meaning of the word is.
There are lots of ways to choose an interesting word of the day. You can choose something that you already know from your own language that sounds similar in English or is a false friend. You can choose something that fits in well with the theme of the Toastmasters meeting.
One should explain what the word means, but also what the word doesn't mean, because maybe there are certain contexts in which the word is inappropriate. When describing the inappropriate contexts, be sure to give examples.
It's really important to make sure that the word of the day can be used by everybody who's speaking at the meeting. So in my view, usability is more important than novelty.
We have two boards, it's the back and it's the front. It's a good practice to write it down before the meeting even starts.
We have a tradition in our club. Whenever people use the word of a day, we knock on a table. I find it important to explain to everyone this, because sometimes grammarians forget it.
To be honest, the most exciting part of the meeting for me is to picking up the word of the day. I feel extremely excited to be the first one to knock on the table. When I do that, I know that I'm the first.
In the end of the meeting, you are always requested to give a report about the usage of the grammar and the usage of the English.
Be aware when giving your report or making notes, try not to only note one-off mistakes, because maybe they were just in the spur of the moment mistake that the speaker made and not a problem that needs addressing. But if a speaker makes the same mistake several times, then make a note of it and give a report at the end, giving examples.
I think good grammarian reports tend to be quite general and avoid picking too much on the grammar of individual speakers. And I think it's always important when reporting at a Toastmasters meeting to try and draw conclusions and lessons that everybody can use in the meeting and take home with them afterwards.
If you feel like it's very difficult for you to look at the meeting as a whole and to be able to evaluate the usage of grammar of every speaker, be specific. Instead, choose one topic that you feel you can be able to explain and be able to also follow up during the whole meeting. For example, explain what does it mean to use metaphors, what they actually are. Give them specific examples, write them down on the blackboard, and encourage to use them in the speeches. Then, at the end of the meeting, you can give a very specific report saying that these are the examples of metaphors that I have heard.
Newcomers tend to be very shy and apologetic when talking about grammar, which I think is unnecessary. And that's why I want to say, as a native speaker, I find the grammarian role a little bit intimidating as well, because it's not something that just non-native speakers feel. And if you understand that and you realise that it's not always about the specific grammar rules, it's about how it's perceived. And so you can easily report on how you perceived someone's use of language, so you can be confident about that.